I hope hopefully the audio's recording because I've been tinkering with it. It's giving me errors, but all right, I'll go on. 6:18 p.m. Friday, January 18th, 2013. A couple of hours ago, police came to my home inquiring about some, uh, I guess inquiring about this, which I was really just thrown off and shocked, and maybe I'm worried now. Um, or I don't know, maybe it's normal. I don't know what happened that led them to come to my home and inquire about this. Um, there was a question of maybe I sat there and I watched my last video. There was a question, maybe there was something wrong with something that I possibly could have said in my last video, and the only thing that I could have possibly imagined it to be was that, um, well, I said that 25% of the people, or 1/4 of the people who were present at, I guess, the inauguration of the two freeholders might need to be in jail, to imply that maybe there needs to be an investigation. Um, because the questions that I was asked was if I'm on medication, and if I don't know if I have some thoughts to cause harm to other people, which maybe I'm flagged for because of the things that have been happening, where young people have been coming to this, I don't know what, I can't explain it, I don't know what's happening, but it's, I guess the shootings, maybe I was somehow flagged for a potential candidate for something like that, I don't know, but it just made me really, the fact that they came made me really scared, I don't know, it's really uncomfortable, really, that it happened. Maybe it's for the better good, though. I don't know. It just, it's just, I don't know. Something like this would, I guess, happens often in China if people speak about government, or I don't know. Like, I don't know what led them to this, because I sat there and I watched my last video. I don't know. There's also a question of what do I wear when I do something. I don't know. So maybe because I do have a video of me, like, I guess, uh, dancing in a Borat bikini. Did that for fun. Hmm. It's just, I don't know. It's just uncomfortable, really, because it makes me worried now. Now I have to. Well, I can't really express myself because if I say something that I'm not supposed to say, or maybe if I say something that I might, I don't know, but it just kind of limits, I guess, your thoughts and your expressions. I mean, I don't know. This type of thing is strange. I don't know. I don't know what to really say about this. That happened like that. Maybe it's just a normal inquiry. It just seems very invasive. You can't just express yourself. Or talk about what you feel, or talk about what, I don't know. I wish they kind of maybe gave more information to me, so maybe I could see. Maybe in the video I might have said something that could be misconstrued as something else, and at least I have something to go on. But it was they brought up the question in my last video, and they asked, I don't really know what led them to my home inquiring about me, and I don't know. I don't know what the reason was. Maybe because, I don't know, I honestly don't know. I mean, maybe something here that I could have said that is because you know, I read off this, which I shared with the Bergen County um, freeholders. Also, you know, I guess I'll put that behind me. I was thinking of maybe, I don't know, writing to the police department to find out what exactly is, what was the, I guess the problem here specifically. Um, I don't know. Maybe somebody saw something and they reported it to the police, or maybe because of my efforts to with the Bergen County Board of Social Services and my efforts with maybe the Bergen County Freeholder Board, maybe as a result of that there was some um, I don't know. I'm not too keen to make a conspiracy theory out of this, but so I have no information. uh, anyways, I'll try to put that behind me, I guess. Um, as discouraging as it was, um, I kind of have to assume, or at least I have to justify it, that as a result of I guess the shootings that have occurred, um, I guess there's a lot of shootings. We're just, I mean, the most recent one that I know of was the Sandy Hook, which I spoke about. I believe there was another one. I tried not to keep track of national current events anymore because it's all very discouraging, very depressing, and just very sad, and you're powerless to do anything about it. Um, this is making me think of, I saw a video on YouTube there was some like weightlifting guy who was this was in response to something along the lines of pro gun rights, and he was talking about you know, we need to arm ourselves, we need to be prepared to kill everybody if need be, and etc. He was very like I mean, when I was watching it, I saw that, you know, I don't think he meant what he was saying. Some of the crazy stuff he was saying, it was just in the moment type of I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't necessarily an act, but it was just his feelings, though. I mean, sometimes when you know, you have sometimes some things happen in life, and you could say something like, "Oh, all cops are corrupt and evil," or "They're out to ruin your life." When if you were to have a negative experience with the police, you could be misguided with your feelings and have feelings take over, and it, you know, when the words that come out and uh, the thoughts you would have could be misguided because you're just overly consumed by emotion, or just how do I put this? Okay, you know, like the situation in Syria, where someone could be consumed by it and say, you know, we need to be doing all these stuff and let the killing stop. We need to go in there, do all this stuff. And if you were to actually mm, do it in that way, it would be very, very wrong, because things need to be done correctly and thoughtfully and reasonably. Um, that's the way that government really operates. Um, so, anyways, back to that video. It's hard for me to explain what, like, the context of it. I knew the person did not mean what he was saying, like in the literal sense. Yeah, I guess maybe this is the words that I'm lacking to explain the situation. You could say things figuratively, or there's another word. Um, there's figurative language. There's different. Just because you say something doesn't mean that. Because now it's hard for me to explain this. I'm not really an expert on this type of thing. I don't know too well on it to be able to explain it or to teach it to anybody. But sometimes you could say things that you don't really mean them literally. Um, I guess that's the only way to say it. So anyways, in that video, this person was talking about all that, not about whatever he was talking about, and then, but this, you know, I guess it could be construed as, but maybe you shouldn't be saying these stuff. But anyways, what happened was police came to him, and it was actually pretty serious. I think he was like investigated. There was a follow-up video, and he ended up retracting everything that he said and explaining it in detail. But I don't know, when I saw the video, what he said, it was understood by me that he did not literally mean what everything that he just said. Uh, hmm. But I guess it would be a very difficult thing from a police perspective. You know, somebody has to, if we talk on the issue of all the shootings that occur, somebody has to figure this out. You know, you say we need to reduce the amount of, or attempt to resolve the situation of young people, young white people, uh, young white single people, um, doing the things that they've been doing. Uh, it can't have that. makes living really, really difficult for everybody. I attend to some of these board meetings that I go to. Um, you know, there's a thought that I have when I go there, that I hope that somebody doesn't come in there and to shoot up the place. I'm very worried when I go there. I have that thought there. It's a concern of mine. And I guess it's the same concern I have when I see a plane, or if I'm on a plane and I sit there and when I flew to Russia, I was very concerned. I hope nothing bad happens. You're powerless to do anything about it. So these types of things need to be resolved somehow. I don't know how. I would not even be able to make a contribution to it, other than, I don't know. Is it an issue of mental illness? I don't. Maybe. Uh, Maybe it's beyond mental illness. Anyways, I'm gonna talk about something else now. When was the last time I made a video? So I can catch up with what I have been doing with myself. It was on 2 weeks ago. Okay, and today's the 18th. Alright, and in terms of my political campaigns that I'm working on, I haven't been involved with it as much as I would have hoped to be involved with at this point in time. I've been feeling discouraged about the whole thing, and I have some doubts about it. Though I did take a state tour last week when I submitted my quarterly report. I took a tour of the State House. It's okay. It's okay. It's interesting. The State House, that is. But no one knows about it. No one knows that it even exists. And this whole thing that makes it really makes it very hard to talk about some of the things that I think we should be working on when the basics of government is not understood. Now, there was a nice woman who gave me a tour, and you know, she talked about all the basics. I identified myself simply as I guess a tourist. Just wanted to come by and see the State House. Outside of the political ambition, I simply would like to just see it because I saw the one in Quebec. I thought it was great. Maybe it's the same way there too. People are just busy. No, they're too involved in themselves and their own lives to participate civically. That and the climate, I guess. It's very negative. It's very, very negative. I would presume, though, well, I'm sure it's very like positive in the democratic sense. If you're a Democrat and you're connected with the democratic regime, it might be nice and positive. Uh, I think even for the Republicans, it's very negative too. And then I guess people like me, and that I would imagine that we're the majority because we don't, or at least I don't know what the hell that, you have your Democratic thing and then you have your Republican thing, and I don't, okay, but like the other day I was thinking about, uh, keep that at home. That's your religion. Keep it at home and do the right thing. I don't know. I'm still trying to make sense of the whole thing. I mean, just to back up a little bit, I think the only thing that could be misconstrued here in my last video that I have said was that as a citizen, government is nothing more than clay in my hands, to be molded with prudence as seen fit to best safeguard liberty, prosperity, and posterity. And I don't know, it's quite poetic and it's very reasonable. Just, I don't know. I don't know what this is. I don't know what that was about. I'm not even so sure how, if it were to be taken to the next level, I don't know if I was arrested for something like that, how I would even proceed to defend myself or to figure out what the hell's going on. I started working on my brief. Oh, this is what happened, by the way. Well, we'll just have this all in one video. I received my transcript from that I needed to have done for my appeal of my sentence in Seabright, New Jersey over violating the curfew and being sentenced $1,000 to pay for as a fine. In order to do that, I mean, in the process of my appeal, I need to have a transcript created, and I had that done. And I'll read you a part of it. Well, I was going to make copies of it, maybe post this on my Share the First website. Which, by the way, the other day I had to sit there and delete many comments because it got infected by some phony, I guess, third-party, whatever. They just sit there and they create spam to advertise certain medication pills or something along those lines. Or I don't know what this is, a type of thing that happens. Think of it like spam mail that you get. You get all these advertisements for all these various pills. That's what happened with that. With my community website. Okay, I'll read this to you. The court. Next is Oleg Kurikine. Mr. Kurikine. Hello, Your Honor. The court. Could you pronounce? I'll do it like this. I'll have to separate court and me. Okay. It's okay. Could you pronounce your name for the record, please? It's Oleg, O-L-E-G, and then last name Kirikine. The court. Okay. The charge is violation Borough Ordinance 91-2N, curfew violation. To that charge, how do you plead? The charge, I plead guilty, please. You understand by virtue of that plea you're consciously and voluntarily waiving your right to a trial as well as an attorney. Yes. You understand the penalties are at the discretion of the court. Say it again. The penalties are at the discretion of the court. Yes. And that you admit that you violated the curfew notices that were placed in Seabright on November 17th, 2012. Yes. Guilty plea is accepted and as voluntary, full notice and knowledge of the penalties to be assessed. Now, why were you there after curfew? I was unaware that the curfew was applying to you being inside the car. I was driving in. I saw the sign or the bulletin posted for the curfew was imposed. I was coming from up the northeastern part of New Jersey, Bergen County. I was traveling. I had a friend who came from Australia for the first time to the United States. I was taking him around, showing him some of the places, at the same time my own personal curiosity to examine and survey the damage that the Hurricane Sandy did and the shoreline. So I was very curious to see what the damage was. I understand the time was something I wanted to do during the daytime, but it's something that required dedicate my whole day to go out there, and I didn't have any callous or malicious intent. It was an honest mistake. And they strictly enforce. There's more than adequate notice, $1,000 fine, $33 costs. Do you need a time payment? Yes, I could set something up. Question. Okay, we'll get you an application form, just fill that out, and on the last page indicate that you can pay today and how you're going to pay the balance, either weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, okay? You can use the table over there. I fill this out and I submit it here. Yes, give it to the officer and then you'll wait until I review it with you, okay? Okay. Oleg Kirikine, do you solemnly swear or affirm the information provided in your application for the time payment is true and accurate? Yes. Okay, now what do you make per week, every 2 weeks, or per month? You didn't put that down. Yeah, Your Honor, I was wondering if I could appeal for mercy and reconsider the judgment that you imposed on me. I'm willing and prepared to pay the said amount. I'm being consistent with what I did to the other fellow on the curfew violation. I mean, I'm not going to tolerate violation of the curfew, especially at 2:47 in the morning. I don't know what you could see with no lights. That's why when you gave the idea of a tour of the devastation to your Australian friend, it lacked credibility in my mind. It as well was for my own personal curiosity. Not at 2:47 in the morning when you have a sign that says you're not supposed to be there. Okay, what do you make per week? Self-employed, I own. What did you make last year in Audible? I don't remember. Did you pay taxes? Yes, I'm trying to remember what was the gross income. I think it was $13,000 or $17,000. I ended up getting a copy of my tax records, and last year was not so good. I made $5,600 around there. Alright, and what can you pay today? If the set amount is of what you prescribed, I'm going to pay that. Just after viewing the documents, I felt that it was a violation of my rights. Okay, well, you have a right to appeal the decision. You can't appeal because you pled. But you have a right to appeal the penalties which I've imposed. You must exercise that right within 20 days of today. And they'll explain to you at the window how to do that and give you all the proper forms if you want to appeal, and that would go to the Superior Court in Monmouth County in Freehold, okay? Go right out the window and they'll take care of you. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. So that's what transcribed in court. This whole thing is very stressful. I don't know what to make of it. I'm trying to write a proper brief. I looked up some of the guides and some of the sample briefs, and um, there's a strong emphasis on understanding the law and understanding previous, not simply understanding, but being privy to the knowledge of all the different laws and all the different and all the different, I guess, precedents that previous judges set forth. And well, this is where having an attorney or a lawyer assist you with legal matters comes in handy and necessary. Um, I'm indifferent about the outcome that could happen as a result. I don't know, maybe the judge would see that it's quite unnecessary. I mean, that's my argument that I'm working on. I've been sick. I've been battling with the flu. It's been really not helpful, but my stress level is at 100. I have large amounts of anxiety. I've been having fear lately. Um, Fear of failing. It's I want to succeed. You say failing at what? Failing at making some type of positive difference in people's lives. So things could be better and people could be happier and we could start kind of progressively moving forwards as a people everywhere. With the idea of, I think some of these ideas that I wrote here that I would like the Bergen County Board to resolve and implement some policies, I think I should continue with them. One of these ideas is something that I could or people themselves, citizens within the county, could realistically do themselves, it would just take a tremendous amount of time and a continuous stream of time. And the way that it would be done is, well, by filing Oprah acts and by having one person whose whose daily job every single day is to go to every single local government every single day and find out if they're hiring somebody or if there's a notice of employment that they're seeking, or uh, an RFQ, which is a request for qualifications. What I understand the RFQ to be is it is when a government is seeking um, somebody for a position, they put out an RFQ, I believe, and then the person uh, who is a candidate or a potential candidate for this particular position submits the paperwork or an application, not the paperwork, but like a resume, and then they get hired off that resume. But what I see, or I think I feel as well, and probably it's the reality, is these types of positions and these types of employments are kept hidden in the dark from the general public, and seems to be only um, no, this is where it becomes advantageous for a person to either be a Democrat or a Republican, because it seems like these types of positions are treated as um, mm, payments of patronage. And if it is the case, then it really makes me worried. Because this is, it's a potential for it to be that. But if it is that entirely the reality, that's very, very bad. Uh, it's very, very bad. I need to get myself together. I need to find a way, um, build up my confidence and regain my strength and energy, and continue. And that's what you have to do in life, I think. You have to find what something that speaks to you, and you have to do that, whatever vocation that may be. I came across this article. I don't think I spoke about this. Um, Let me see if I can find it, and I'll put it up in the description for anybody interested in reading it. Hopefully I bookmarked it. Yes, I have it. So I will put that up in the description for anybody interested. It's titled "A Depraved World: FBI Agents Wage a Stressful Battle Against Child Pornography." And this article talks about the agency, or the nonprofit organization slash agency. It's complicated. Um, it's more like a hybrid. And what they do is they sit there and they watch child pornography. And say, oh. They don't do it for some type of pleasure. They do it because the court systems, and police investigators and police detectives, they need somebody to do that kind of stuff, who's gonna explain what's happening and look for little pieces of information that could put the case together, and where is this happening. Maybe these would be some of the questions that they would be attempting to figure out. Where is this happening? Basically, yeah, that's one of the most important ones, is probably where it's happening, so they could find out where it is and put a stop to it. I mean, and it talks about the employees and the people who do that, where that's their job. Their job is to sit there and try to make sense of what's happening there, objectively. And it talks about some of the statistics that child pornography is on the rise, and it talks about the statistic that the people who create child pornography are all white male. So for instance, like gang violence is mostly, well, I think it's based on what I've been piecing together up to this point in my life. It seems that gang violence in the United States is mostly by Black and Latino ethnic groups. So now child pornography production is done by all white people. So it's really depressing article, actually. So read it with, if you do read it with a grain of salt. Anyways, 43 minutes in, I think I'm gonna go. And I've discovered, well, you know, at the end of the videos, I'm just gonna say until next time. And I think that's a nice way to end the video. Till next time.